As I wander down this road, I wonder, what is it that waits around the bend? Could it be the kingdom and the glory?
Well, welcome everybody to an edition of Songwriter to Songwriter. This time we've got the very gallant Bruce Gallant here to share his stories. Now I know some things about Bruce. We've met on occasions, so I'm really interested to know more about Bruce. So one thing is, since we're Facebook friends, I've noticed is you have this post a picture every now and then of your mom holding a guitar, looking every bit like Patsy Cline. Yeah. So tell me about your mom, her musical background.
She was 18. She was 18 in that picture, but I had an aunt, my uncle's wife, brought music into my mother's family.
Okay.
So she started very young. She had a large family. She was only girl with 6 brothers.
Okay.
But so most of them, they all started playing music. My aunt came in with a banjo, and then they all just picked up different instruments to do all that. So as a kid growing, go ahead.
Go
I was just saying, as a kid growing up, pretty much every other Friday night, what we called hootenannies, where they got to sit around and they drank and played music. Nobody knew the words to anything. They made up their own words and played music all night long, got drunk, in a good way. As kids, we had a ball because we loved it, because we knew that they were feeling good and we could run around. So music's been, all the time.
Wow, that's great. Well, there's an old Irish saying, "What the Lord loves a happy drunk."
Yeah, there you go.
So, so it was just free-form kind of bluegrassy stuff?
More country than bluegrass. Like they like a lot of Hank Williams, Buck Owens, and old stuff like that. And then I don't even remember, just Hank Snow, all kinds of old country stuff. And
so now you said they used to make up stuff. Was anyone actually write songs that they would play?
I had one uncle that was a songwriter on ukulele.
Okay.
He liked stuff like Bill Bailey, stuff, those kind of songs.
Oh, right, the old kind of folky, real folk stuff. Yeah. Back when folk was folk.
Yeah, he was, Rudy Valley came from my hometown. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
And so my uncle was a big fan of Rudy Valley, so he did some songs like that.
Oh, okay. And your mom kind of played along with all this?
My mother she was a background rhythm player most of the time.
Oh, okay.
She tried teaching me to play guitar, but when you're a little kid, you want to just either play, So,
yeah.
So I would get frustrated, and I never ended up learning how to play the guitar until I was 27 years old. So.
A lot of times when I'll play, and like little kids, sometimes they want to just get their fingers on it and screw
that's
their
all
playing.
I want.
And I found the only thing you could really do sometimes is like give them a pick and then hold chords and let them,
Yes.
It makes it easier in your ears as well.
But I was very good on the tennis racket and on the drum.
Back before air guitars, when
because that's what we did. My brothers and sisters, we would play our 45 records. We'd each take a turn. We'd stack the records on. So one sister, she had the first record, so she was the lead singer.
Oh, I see. So you have like a set list.
Yeah,
and you would be stacking up the 45s.
Yeah.
And playing along.
And as they dropped, then we'd switch instruments. She'd take the tennis racket, and I would sing.
Right. So where was this?
Rumford, Maine.
In Maine, okay.
Western Mountains.
You got your Maine shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm proud of Maine. I love Maine.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of Maine jokes, usually about the weather.
Yeah.
So when did you come down to Florida?
2011.
Okay.
2011, we were living in a small little village called New Boston, New Hampshire. My wife and I, it's up on the top of a small mountain. And we worked down in this other little town at the bottom of the mountain. And so one morning we hit black ice and we did all the way down, and my wife got a little upset and said, "We're moving." So
I was walking around one day, I was helping at our local rec center, and someone had dumped out a cooler, and so there was ice, and I said, "Yeah, you slip on that in Florida, you got a lot of explaining to do."
Yeah.
How did you hurt yourself? Oh, I slipped on some ice.
Whoa.
So yeah. It's funny. 2011. That's we moved down in 2010.
Oh, okay.
And I always assumed, because you must have gotten involved with the ACMA pretty straight away.
Actually, it took a couple of years.
Oh, yeah?
Really? Yeah, because I would see their little ad in the paper, and the first time I went to a songwriting circle, they were up on Cleveland.
Okay.
And it was like 2 weeks after I went there, they were all done there.
That was a place I think I heard about. It was kind of an old storefront.
Yeah,
and,
that,
like,
and-
really it closed down because the bathroom wasn't up to snuff.
Something like that, yeah. And then I know then Bill started having, we would just meet for a songwriting circle behind the Starbucks down on, what, First Street or whatever, in downtown Fort Myers, or sometimes we went up on the top of, there's a hotel with a swimming pool on the roof, and we would do a songwriting circle just out in their little lobby out there.
Did people come listen?
Some did, but most of the time it kind of, you know.
Right.
You know. But, so, and then they ended up going to the church.
Right. Well, that's where I, you know, and for anybody listening who doesn't know by now about the singer-songwriter circle, it's a great way if you're a budding songwriter, you're experienced, you get a lot of good ideas, everyone's supportive, you can get, you know, constructive criticism if you ask for it, sometimes if you don't. But it
depends on who's there.
Yeah, but it's a very supportive group.
Yeah,
and
it's
when
great.
And when I was there, I think you used to go quite a bit. That was when Bill was running it.
Yeah, Bill ran it, and then when he needed a break, I took over for a while,
Yep.
and some other people. But it is a great thing. It really, probably the best thing to happen to me musically, coming down here and going there.
I think too. I think it really. It started me on a journey progressing as a songwriter, because you know you see what's possible.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing the ACMA does is it gives you a chance to play in front of people. And if you don't do that, no, I know you have a long experience we'll talk about, but for me, first time I came down here, I got in front of a microphone and just it was so disorienting. You know, it was like I was over in Cape Coral where Papa Tommy's thing.
Yes, over
And
there.
I just stepped aside from the microphone and sang loud.
I think I was there that night.
Were you?
It's one of those nights, because I remember you telling Papa Tommy that you didn't really like the microphone, and he slid it aside, and you just played and sang. I remember that. I remember
Yeah. Well,
yep.
I've gotten better since then. You learn to love the microphone after a while.
Yes.
It's easier on your voice. You can get more dynamics out of it.
More dynamics. I love the microphone and reverb.
Yeah, that reverb. Yeah. So now you said you got your first guitar when you were 20s.
Yeah, 26.
Oh yeah.
26.
So what kind of guitar was that?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna date myself really bad. It was a mail order from Montgomery Ward's.
Oh yeah.
So there was the name I don't know. My mom had an old Silvertone archtop I used to play with, but that went through a bunch of kids, so it was too much of a mess to play with.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had just 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, okay.
So that's 5 of us.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's still a pretty good family, I guess.
Yep.
You know, it's a lot of demands. 5 people wanting the same guitar can be a little demanding. Yeah. So did it play pretty decent? This Montgomery Ward's guitar?
It was okay. It was okay. I mean, obviously, as I got better, I owe it all to a former brother-in-law who convinced me that in order to be able to sing, you just need to keep in tune with the guitar. You don't have to be an Elvis Presley or whatever. And he kind of helped me to stay in tune with the guitar. You know.
I know I've met a lot of people and they're learning to play guitar, and you know, I'll ask them, can you sing? Because you know, if you can sing, and even moderately, because you can, you know, like playing guitar, you can improve with singing with just, you know, some practice. And so if people can sing at all, then you've got an extra tool there.
I think so, because I think if you're singing the song, it helps you know when to change your chords and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, I was a big mumbler for a long time, but he got me going.
So then you got into like a regular rock kind of band.
Yes, it was kind of funny for me because I was like, I didn't get into my first band until I was 40 years old. And the other band members were in their 20s, and it kind of amazed me because we did all originals. We did not do covers, and they probably 80% of my songs, and it just amazed me that these young guys liked my songs, you know. And we never really co-wrote, but I wrote a song, they heard it, they liked it, and then they just added what they felt, you know, like the guitar player, the bass player. They just kind of wrote their own things.
Right. So you kind of write the basis, and then the bass player's going to do what the bass player's going to do. The drummer's going to do what the drummer's going to do.
And we just worked it all out.
The background singer's going to sing when they want to do. Yeah.
One of my best players, a real good friend up in New Hampshire named Mark Fowler, and we played together for 20 years, but he could not tell you one single word from any song of mine. although he played them all 1,000 times, but he just he knows his licks, you know. And
yeah. Well, I know with the Pearl Street Band, it's kind of similar. You know, I think that Mike sings a handful of words out of all the songs I do, but he instinctively knows the breaks and all the places where he can jump in,
So
and that kind of stuff. So
that was a great experience. We played original music only, so we had Wednesday nights or Thursday nights with 6 other bands, and you know, you'd have to play it in Boston at 10 o'clock at night, or you know, we even got as far as Greenwich Village in New York, you know, and stuff.
And so, so you were having rock and roll nights. Did you have a day job too, I assume?
Oh yes, a day job and 2 kids.
So, what time did you start working in the morning?
Usually, I used to work most of the time. Most of the jobs I had I always worked factories. So
Okay.
most of those years was usually from 4 10-hour days, 6 to 6. I mean, 6 to 4.
So you would be out. You'd be starting a gig at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Getting done probably if it's like a set, maybe 11 or so.
I usually got like a 45-minute set.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So you get out of there at 11, then you got to drive home.
Yeah. And all that. That's how it was. But I was younger then.
Yeah. I remember staying up, pulling all-nighters, and then you'd sleep in until 2 o'clock on
Yeah.
a Saturday, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah. I learned how to do that in the Air Force when I was overseas.
Because
That's something I don't consider myself though, as a musician.
uh
I'm a songwriter. I want somebody else to play, you know. I'm not that great of a guitar player. And,
yeah, you see now, in me, I have a lot more, I guess, broader definition. I don't know if I consider myself. I say that I don't consider myself a musician because I don't read music. You know, it's not
that's
like I'm gonna
my
play
point
rock
there.
or,
I don't.
you know, this kind of
Right.
stuff.
Exactly.
But
That's what.
everyone has a different idea of what a musician is. I think if you make
I
music,
suppose.
you're
Yeah.
a musician.
Okay.
And,
Then I'm a musician.
you know, it's also the thing about what's the definition of amateur and professional.
They say a paycheck, right?
They say a paycheck. Maybe if living off the paycheck maybe is more accurate because you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, So I mean, I had a terrible hand injury in 2006.
Yeah, I think you told me about
Yeah.
that.
So that hinders my guitar playing.
So this was in the factory.
Yeah. And then the injection mold machine. I got my hand cut and it crushed it.
Yeah. And so that limited some mobility in your fingers.
I can't spread. I can't make a fist. Like I can't play a regular C chord,
Mhm.
you know, or an F or anything like that.
So you just adapted your chords.
I adapted my chords, and of course the capo is a wonderful thing.
So you change keys, you just change capos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for a lot of things, but even things like I can play a G chord, but I don't have any strength in my finger. So the finger that goes on the low E string, I really am not pressing on it.
Yeah.
The finger just falls there.
You know, and I'm sure it's the players who are listening just kind of cringe the idea because I don't know how many times I've been doing something like, you know, cleaning a fish
Yeah.
or something, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, you know, okay, one slip, and you know, I could lose something I love.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I used to actually think, well, I can lose these 2 fingers because I hold my pick here. Never even thought of losing anything on this hand. You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, well, just switch, but it's not the same thing. My rhythm is here, you know, like, you know,
Oh, I see what you
To
mean.
go
You're-
left-handed.
To go left-handed, yeah, that's.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you know, it's like trying to throw a ball left-handed and
Exactly.
act macho. You just can't do it, you know.
Yeah, I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I adapted. My doctor said I would never be able to. It turned out to be my best therapy, because what happened is all the tendons, of course, what got cut, and then when they put them back together, they shortened them.
Oh, I see.
So
Right.
that's why I can't. And then the muscles cannot be replaced. They just curl up and go away. So
And so, like the tendons, would your therapy a lot of stretching exercises and that
yeah.
kind of stuff?
So and going back to the guitar and just finding what I played. Fortunately, probably because I played with rock and roll guys, I learned power chords and stuff.
Yeah.
From back then, so I use those on there quite a bit. I play my E chord with one finger, my A with one finger.
Well, you can. You know, guitar's an amazing thing. I mean, you don't need to play a standard tuning and do all that. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, Joni Mitchell, I think, 60 some odd tunings.
Yeah, you can do. You know, you can, like you said, you can do all that. Open all kinds of different open tunings you can do, and
That's, you can play. So really, you think about it, you can play some pretty. You can play almost anything with one finger on your left hand and 2 on your right.
yeah. Bill Metz was telling me about a bass player that's kind of that situation. I can't think of his name, but he's a famous bass player, and he's only got 2 fingers on this hand and whatever. You know, but yeah, depends on whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah, right. How important it is to you. So probably a good time to segue into a song.
Okay. I do like to do that.
Well, the one song that I really want, you know, you can choose whatever you want to play, but that song you have about the, you know, the home, set on land that I don't own, that song.
Living in Paradise?
Yeah, Living in Paradise, that's it.
You know, if you'd like me to, I can play that. But you know how they make, like Mick Jagger doesn't want to do Satisfaction anymore.
Right, yeah.
But
I would say that, you know, it would be a huge, if people complain because I'm doing new stuff because they really want me to play something old, I would consider that to be a huge compliment to get, you know. The more angry they get, the more of a compliment it is.
So it is 4 minutes and 58 seconds.
We're not on the clock.
Okay. All right. Well, Living in Paradise then. Hey, I'm not the only body that never made much money, but I've been working hard most of my life. Yeah, I just want to retire. That's the one thing I desire, and I do believe that I have that right. So I'm living in paradise. Yeah, I ain't got much. It sure is nice. A 10 by 50 mobile home that set on land that I don't know. Well, hey, that don't bother me, 'cause friends, from what I see, I'm living here in paradise. Oh, let me tell you now, this sure is nice. Yeah, I know I'm getting old. Bathroom mirror tells me so. So I just wanna live what I have left. Working's taking precious time. What I want all the time, it's mine. Working took so much, now I want the rest. So I'm living in paradise. I ain't got much, but sure is nice. A 10 by 50 mobile home that set on land that I don't own. Well, hey, that don't bother me, 'cause friends, from what I see, I'm living here in paradise. Oh, let me tell you now, this sure is nice. Hey, I'm not the only body that never ever made much money, but I got everything I need. Yeah, I just want to retire. That's the one thing I desire, and I do believe it's one dream I will see. So I'm living in paradise. I ain't got much, it sure is nice. A 10 by 50 mobile home that set on land that I don't own. Well, hey, that don't bother me, 'cause friends, from what I see, I'm living here in paradise. Oh, let me tell you now, this sure is nice.
Very nice. That's just a great song. That's a good feel-good song.
Yeah, it surprised me. It was like, I can't imagine what it's like for someone who has 20,000 people singing, because sometimes at the ACMA, if I'm having to play that song and the audience sings it with me, it just makes it. I don't know. The feeling's just crazy.
Yeah, that's
to have other people. So it's nice. So I'm glad people like that song.
Well, that's the thing. I'm sure your experience, playing in bands and bars and all that. That a lot of times your background noise or something to dance to.
Exactly. So there's nothing better than a listening room.
Yeah, and that's brings to the ACMA. So the ACMA, that's one thing they're really good for is they have regular concerts you can play or people listen. It's not going to a cafe and filling the room with noise. It's
it's awesome.
And so they'll listen to your original songs. So so what's your involvement with the ACMA?
Technically now just a member.
Okay.
Just a member. I did the songwriting circle for quite a while, a couple of years.
And that's a commitment. That's like every Sunday. Now it's every other Sunday, I think.
It is. And back then, when Bill Mitz did it, and I took over for him, I did it every Sunday for at least a year. And then I'm trying to think. I can't remember. Can't remember what the fella's name. Somebody decided they volunteered and started doing alternates. And now I guess Smoke, Gene, and David Hintz, they alternate.
Oh, really? Because I'm only really seen Gene back in on the Zoom days.
Right. Well, they're having their very first live at the church this Sunday.
Yeah.
David's hosting.
Yeah. And so when you hear it this Sunday, just so you know, it'll take me a while to get this all edited. And
okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So
sorry. Yeah.
And honestly, the way this virus has been ebbing and flowing, by the time this comes out, I have no idea whether they'll still be doing it at the church or not.
So.
Yeah.
But anyways, as you said, it's a great. One thing I noticed, like going back to the summer, I went to New Hampshire for the summer, for most of the summer, and up there, I don't know what it is, but there's still something like this. They don't care about original music. They want to hear Freebird, and that discourages. So I'm very happy about being down here.
Yeah, well, and I think honestly, the ACMA has a large part of that because I understand the formation was. That some people would be going out and seeing live music in, Asheville and other places along the eastern seaboard there or in the west and saying, we need that here.
Yeah, and they and Bob and they all do a great job. All the board members. It's
Yeah, I mean it's a labor of love.
Yeah,
really for like people. But now you got involved with Hope by Song.
Excuse me. Yes.
Fairly. Now you're one of the formers of that, the founders of.
No, that was Nita and Bill, and actually Matt Hammond was before me too, and there was another fella named Todd. I can't think of his last name, but I think it was like 3 years after they got started. But yeah, I was heavy into that. I wrote over almost 80 Hope by Song songs.
So tell people about Hope by Song.
Hope by Song is an organization where our motto is I can't even create and inspire and stuff. But anyways, we go to a drug rehab, physical abuse places, all that, and try to encourage people to write their feelings, keep a journal. That's the main purpose. The song thing is secondary. Mm-hmm. But because we really, really believe, and I really believe it's like pulling a splinter out of your finger. If you write something down, whatever's bothering you, and you write it down, it just really helps. It gets it out and gets it off your chest. And then we ask them if they would like. We will try to write a song for them, and we record the songs. We take their words, and we don't change. We have to change them a bit, because it's syllables.
Get the meter to
exactly.
Right, yeah.
But other than that, we don't change their words. Just come up with whoever the writer might be. Obviously, Bill would write a different kind of song than I would write, that kind of thing. And then we record them and get them back to them as soon as we can, So.
And I've heard some really touching stories with Hope by Song. There was one example when someone wrote, someone was in like an addiction rehab center, and they had lost their children through the addiction, and they were hoping to get them back, and they wrote a song about that, and they went and listened to the song performed while they're visiting their children.
Yeah, I think that might have been Bill's.
Yeah.
But yes, it's the thing about it. By the time you get to write, a lot of these programs are 30 days. So a person who submits it, they're usually gone by the time the song is written.
Right. Yeah.
And you can't wish for them to still be there. 'Cause
no, you hope they go out for good, right? Yeah.
But on occasion, there has been a time where someone's been there for a long time. So when you do actually play their song for them in front of them, it's quite a feeling.
Well, I think even there's a lasting thing, because another thing about journaling is you're taking a snapshot of whatever your life was at the time, right? So if they are in recovery and they listen to a song about when they were in the depths of not being recovered, right? Then that could be inspiring. It can help them keep on a better road.
Well, I read a thing the other day where if you're a songwriter and actor, you have to have some kind of mental problem to a degree. Anybody that's artistic.
Hey, well, some of the certainly the leading lights of human history have probably would have been diagnosed with something. From Van Gogh to Einstein to you name it. You know. So I think it's probably a good thing to be a little crazy.
Yep. Yeah. You have to. As you say, like a process. I pretty much keep the saying 3 chords in truth. There's not too many songs of mine that are any more than 3, maybe 4 chords. But I can't sit down and try to write a song. Like most songs, even like "Live in Paradise," that was like a 5-minute song. The words just.
Yeah.
They just.
Some of my best ones are like that.
Yeah.
If I overthink it.
Right, exactly. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I try that. I have lots of melodies and stuff, but I can't try.
So with that last song, what did you use chord modifications in there for your hand?
No. Well, this is how I play. I had to play a D.
Okay.
And then it's just an A, and then a G for there.
Oh, okay.
But like if I play an E, I just don't hit these strings.
Yeah, with the flat pick, you can get away with that.
Yeah.
A lot.
Right.
Because you still get the rhythm too from even if
Right.
you hit them, but if you deaden them, we'll push that up. But
Like Bill Metz says that I play my guitar like I'm a drummer. But yeah.
Bill thinks that guitars are percussion instruments, and he's got a real point to it. Sure. Yep.
Well, as I wander down this road, I wonder, what is it that waits around the bend? Could it be kingdom and glory? Could it simply be bitter end? Well, there are many questions that I ponder, and I don't know what's real or pretend. Everybody's got a different story. Every story has a different end. Where I'm bound, I don't know, but I can dream, I can hope. What I've found to be so is my heart knows where to go. There are things that I should have done different. There are things that I should not have done. If I could change things I left behind me, yeah, I don't think I'd dare change one. 'Cause where I'm bound, I don't know, but I can dream, I can hope. What I've found to be so is my heart knows where to go. Perhaps someday, somehow I'll find an answer. Perhaps that answer will not come to me. Well, all that I can do is cross my fingers, close my eyes and just let it be. 'Cause where I'm bound, I don't know, I can dream, I can hope. What I found to be so my heart knows where to go.
Very nice, Bruce.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Another feel-good song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, you know, 'cause, you know, you think about it, if you were to go back in time and change one little thing, who knows what would happen.
You know, and I wrote a song kind of related to that because I went through this whole thought process going, okay, if you can go back to it, I think it started as a Facebook thing. What advice would I give to a 13-year-old me?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, you know, you could screw up your life.
Yeah.
Give yourself the wrong advice.
Yeah, you could, because you don't. Yeah. Maybe I would have told them to stop playing guitar a little earlier. But
Yeah.
other than that.
Or something practical like buy Apple.
There you go. There you go.
So, so what are you doing now? You're playing with Bill. I know you
Yep.
go out to George and Wendy's at
Yeah, and
Sandoval pretty often.
Yeah, it's almost a weekly thing. We call ourselves Waiting on the Bus.
Okay.
Well, I do a monthly food drive in my mobile home park. My wife, that's when my wife joins us. Bill, my wife, and myself, and we have a little outdoor concert at once a month in the park and raise food for the pantry on Gladiolus.
Oh, the Harlem
Yeah.
Heights thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I drive by that all the time and see it.
So
Yeah.
we do. So that's nice. Last year we raised over $1,500 and 2,000 pounds of food.
So you do some of the same songs you used to do when you did the band now when you solo, or you in a whole other songwriting mind?
I do. Yes, I do. I do. So I still. All my songs are like my children. I'll sit down for a day and get my songbook up and go through every one of my songs and play them. There's one particular that Bill and I play. It's called "I Do Believe." It's a rocker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yes, I do. So yes, I'll probably once a month I'll get my songbook out and go through all my songs.
Yeah. And so you have 2 kids, you said?
Yep, 2 daughters. Yeah.
Did they play?
One does. One is a songwriter.
Okay.
One is a listener. But we need listeners.
And people appreciate.
She's yeah.
And so they both still in Maine?
New Hampshire. They live in New Hampshire. What happens? I worked in a paper mill in Maine. I grew up. My dad worked there. My grandfather and all.
Yeah.
And in 1986, we had a major strike.
Right.
It was right after Reagan did the air traffic controllers and all that.
Oh,
He
okay.
kind of busted their union up, so made it all different. So I lost my house, I lost my job, I lost everything. So we packed up. The only place to find work was in southern New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
So we packed up. But once you lose everything, then you don't go through life. You don't worry about losing stuff.
So you're doing the same thing at the factory in New Hampshire?
Yep, I left I went back those days. My house payment I lost was $236 a month. I was working at a paper mill making like $16 an hour in '86. So when I went to New Hampshire, my rent went up to $700 a month, and I was making $7 an hour in a little print shop.
Oh, right.
So there were a lot of struggles, but it was worth it in the long run. It was great that my daughters got to grow up so close to Boston because there was a good problem with a small, like a steel mill town or a small paper mill town. Alcohol is about the big thing. You work and you go to the bars. So they got away from that and they had great lives. They made great guys. I got 5 grandchildren. And like I say, my youngest daughter is a songwriter and singer and player, and my oldest daughter just loves everything. She knows her stuff.
So do they come down to Florida to visit you very often?
No, we go there. One thing, it's a tough thing, but when you have kids and you raise them to be independent and have their own lives, and they do that,
Yeah.
it usually doesn't include you too much anymore.
Cats in the cradle kind of thing.
But not in a sad way, but in a good way that they made their own lives, and we have a great relationship. We love each other, but it's easier for me to go up there and see them. My son-in-laws, one is a scientist at Harvard, one is project manager in construction, and they only get like 2 weeks a year of vacation.
Yes.
And so they do their family vacations, and they like to go,
Right. I know how precious they are.
Right.
Every 3-day weekend is something you got to really
Right.
exploit as much as you possibly. You retire and then move down to Florida right away?
No, we moved. I was only 58 years old. We decided to move to Florida and work here. So
Oh, okay.
to get a head start
Okay, because I remember, like in the songwriter circle, you were working.
I worked full time at Shell Point. Well, my wife and I both got jobs at Shell Point.
Oh, okay.
So I worked landscaping there, and she worked in the construction.
Okay, because I know like Dan Filgren, I think, is out there too.
Yeah, that's how I got to know Dan. Yeah, he's the TV guy out there.
Yeah.
But I worked at Shell Point for about 6 years.
Mm.
So yeah, we decided to come down here and just, why wait to retire and come down here? We decided to come, like I said, about the snow in the winter and the black ice, it really bothers her.
Yeah. You know, if you have a lot of interest in retirement, it's like opening up a door that you can do what you want to do.
You do, yes. I working in factories. I personally know plenty of people that work 70 hours a week, get every penny they could, and when it came close to retirement, they dropped dead. I can name you 10 people I know that happened to.
I've heard the same story too.
Yeah. And it's I don't want anything to do with that. I think I've been wanting to retire since I was 21 years old. And what you just said, you can either lay on the couch and get fat and watch TV, or do things.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I had time to go to work now.
Yeah, I don't know how I had time to work either, honestly, either. You know, of course, mind you, now I've kind of got a job. So, so you got another song for us?
Yes. Would this be the last one?
Yep.
Okay.
3 songs is usually the number.
Okay. In that case, I will do this one.
Since I coerced you into doing something you hadn't planned on doing.
You did. You're such a terrible fellow. This song, I have political songs and stuff, but I don't play them out too much, and this is not political, so don't worry. But it's about the closest thing I could come to. Okay. Some folks say that Jesus will come save us. Others say that God left us alone. Some believe that aliens came searching for a brand new, bright and better home. Could be they don't quite know what they're saying. Maybe no one is completely wrong. I really don't know where we'll be tomorrow. For all I know, we may just be gone. Oh, I don't know, I can't say, will we ever find a way, yeah, I hope so, and I pray that peace will come one day, hey, 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 hey. We've been told that nothing lasts forever. Doesn't matter how hard we hold on. Comes a time when we must join together. Use our voice to stand up and be strong. But I don't know, I can't say, will we ever find a way? Yeah, I hope so, and I pray that peace will come one day. Hey, 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 hey. Some folks say that this can never happen. Others say that it's just a dream. All I know is the only thing that matters are the things that we choose to believe. But I don't know, no, I can't say, will we ever find a way, yeah, I hope so, yeah, I pray that peace will come one day, hey, 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 hey.
Nicely done, Bruce.
That was better. Thank you.
You know, it's there's certainly room in this world for a happy, optimistic song.
Yeah. So, tried. Yeah, I spent a lot of years writing songs about the world and stuff, and then when I met my wife, I ended up writing a lot of songs about her instead. Knows it better. She inspires a lot of my songs.
And I think that you you're not really writing true to your heart if you're not writing about what's around you. You know, and I know that I think a lot of people went through the path. I don't know if you did too. Where the first songs are all very autobiographical.
Oh, right.
Because you know, it's yeah, and it's all very, you know, you're singing about you and what you know, and you know, but to sing a song, have empathy for somebody who is in a completely different situation. You know, to sing about addiction when it's not your cross to bear, things like that. That's really fulfilling to me.
It is, you know, to go back to Hope by Song real quick. Those are songs that I would have never written in my life. Like I say, I have almost 80 of them, and I would have never, because I've done little things that people do, but I've never had a drug problem or alcohol problem or anything like that. So I can't really relate, you know, to that. But those songs, I have some of them. It's just amazing what these people go through. You know,
Yeah, it makes you feel, I think, both empathetic and fortunate.
Yes, very fortunate.
Because I've taken pain pills. I've had demo work, and they give me pills, and I didn't like them. I certainly didn't get hooked on it, but some people that's all it took.
Yeah. I lost a brother-in-law that way. It started with the pills and alcohol.
Yeah, and I wrote a song. It's one of these songs I don't play very often, but I should. About someone. I've known more people. I've known more people that have died from addiction here than I ever did growing up in Colorado. You know, and I'm sure I think it's more the time. Because we have this epidemic now. It's not the place.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Like you said, small towns sometimes there's not a lot of outlets.
I don't know if it still is, but a year or two ago, Bennington, Vermont was the heroin capital of the world.
Yeah.
And it's not a very big move. Go listen to Old Crow Medicine Show. They got all kinds of songs about. They went songs about how the old days they did moonshine, but now it's meth. You know.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's probably a ironic place to end this interview. I think the lesson we get out of that is don't do the drugs, buy a guitar, write some songs.
Let music be your drug. Right?
Yeah. So I really want to thank Bruce for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
And now, as I say this, I think the singer-songwriter circle is going on like every other week. You'll see in the credits at the end here the web address. You can go onto the website. You can find out what's going on. It's not just a singer-songwriter. We get touring acts that come through, and those are going to start up as I write this. They're going to start up soon. There's shows on the Plaza downtown. There's the Alliance for the Arts down in Fort Myers. There's some things happening all around. But it's good to go to the website if you like original music and you want to see real people do it. This is not like polished Nashville stuff. These are people telling their stories or other people's stories that are singing from the heart. But I want to thank Bruce for coming down and braving the potential traffic on Fort Myers Beach.
Not bad today.
Not bad.
There's a storm coming. I think that scared people away.
Yeah. Because I know we're about in that season now where I'm going to start being late everywhere.
Yep. I can't imagine.
Yeah. So.
Living here.
Okay. Well, thanks again for Bruce Gallant.